With the domestic release of Blade of Ghost Extermination Infinite Journey, the discussion about this work has become lively again, even heated. I don't know if you have seen it. What is the evaluation if you have seen it? However, we're not going to talk about movies in today's video, but to take this opportunity represents the views of popular works. As a ghost horse criticized by Brahmins, popularity breaks the party's first circle-breaking masterpiece. The Blade of Ghost Extermination is a movie, just watch the animation. It's hard to get around, and the pros and cons are very obvious. Obviously not too controversial. The voice of expectation is mainly focused on his plot. This is because he is simple enough to understand. The story of the weak against the strong. The subject is to celebrate the greatness of human nature. Describes how human beings use spiritual will to pass from generation to generation. Undertake the finiteness of transcending life. Simple subject. Straight lines. Straight to what you see is what you get. Seems to have little depth. There is no room for interpretation and thinking. But everything has two sides. Curve height must fit. This is a human revenge on ghosts. Break apart the way we heard the big way when we were young. Smash so you can get enough audience. Men, women, and children, have fun in it. This is also how we can apply for the top floor of the world. The most basic premise. Some people here may ask, such a common theme, what fun can an ordinary story have? And this question has actually defaulted to ordinary. Common is bad. Vulgar is inferior. But is that really the case? Discuss family and friendship. Humans will eventually overcome evil, and there must be no depth. Must be better than discussing right and wrong. Is history and politics more superficial? Or go a step further. We like a story. Is it because of his production skills? Narrative skills are superb enough. The form is pioneering enough. The subject is deep enough. Or say, just because he was at a certain moment, touched you lightly. I won't deny the ghost sword. Mediocrity and cliches in story structure. Even when he aired, just chasing 2 paintings will turn decisively. When 19 paintings of the soul caused widespread discussion, didn't see it for the first time, but after the end of the first season, I just went to catch fan. But I'll still admit it, the knife he painted in season 19 of the first season, and Flower Festival, break. The last brother and sister love of the Knife Inch chapter moved me. Which brings us to another question. Do you think you should try to explain a complex, deep story? Still should. Try to tell a common story. As an insatiable audience, of course we would like to see more and more on the market. Innovative, profound philosophy. Intriguing. The management club also took a fancy to the potential of the Ghost Slayer blade. I don't hesitate to use sky-high funds to make an animated version. After the animation was announced in 2018, the Blade of Ghost Extermination is also a first fire. Sales jumped to 3 million. And after the animation aired in 2019, the sales of books on the Blade of Ghost Extermination are even more extreme. Dutch growth to 12 million copies. Today's global sales are breaking through the 200 million. If the original really doesn't work, no matter how beautiful the animation is, it's futile. In addition, many people's view is that it was the animation that brought the original to life. But has anyone thought about, why was the Blade of the Ghost Knight brought to life? And other comics can't be brought alive. Many people will take the great success of Ghostblade, all thanks to the beautifully made animated version. But in fact, the deep charm of the original comic itself, and creative ideas. Is this work? The most fundamental reason to conquer a global audience. As a rookie cartoonist, Ukahu, things are never painted for themselves, and always consider the view. Can the public enjoy it? From character design to plot arrangement. No time for things. Always take into account the reader's reading experience. Resonate with emotion. Every creation of the teacher. Are carefully thinking about how the audience will enjoy it. Touched. I can even remember it for a lifetime. This kind of reader's fragrant creative concept, maybe it's the Blade of Ghost Extermination. The core reason for conquering the world, except for the emotional core, the reason why the Blade of Ghost Extermination is so popular, because there is one in the work, a worldview of its own. The work is set in the Japanese background of the Taisho era, has an opposing structure between ghosts and humans. The combat system of breathing. And like a ghost, simple and easy to understand combat power ladders such as 12 ghost moons. These elements have been carefully designed, logic is linked, co-created a familiar and novel fantasy site. And this setting, just like long junior high school moves, character ability ladder setting, especially for young readers, this simple and easy to understand setting, it will also attract many small readers to imitate. But like a schoolboy in the 90s, use Guibo Qigong, and today's kids roll A4 paper day wheel knives, shouting water to breathe and running around. Finally, let's talk about diverse role building. Destruction admits in character building, showed, very high level and rich hierarchy. Even the villain in the story, also endowed with complex motivations. And the human side, as Mr. Wu Chang often said, ghosts were originally human. So there should be a life as a human being. This villain also has a difficult setting. Let the reader no longer wait for the protagonist to fight the monster quickly, but torn together with the characters. That's the magic of a good story. It is this serious attitude towards creation itself, enabling the work to reach such depth. The success of the Day of Destruction is no accident. He is the author. Devote heart and love to all characters. Coupled with unremitting efforts and correct creative concepts, works that can be generated, although beautiful animation, It really adds a lot to the work. But really, supporting this work to become a phenomenal work is the rich connotation contained in his original comics and the sincerity of the creator. First, in terms of painting, unique Japanese style. Water respiration. It combines very distinctive clothing. Drawing and 3D CD technology. Makes the whole show look very natural, very comfortable. I don't know. Have you seen this type before? The special effects have never been seen by the UP master anyway. Whether it is the happy hour of sand sculpture, will it be a sad atmosphere or a warm-blooded low-key? This style of painting. Swimming that can express emotions in different pictures. More than a blade. Not to mention level 19 funding. Explosive neon effects. Impressed with smooth long shots. Comprehensive performance of the previous 18G paintings. In fact, it can be called very good. The quality is stable at the first line level. Crash screen can be said to be almost no. This level of painting, in recent years in the works of the King's Passion and Blood, it's really invaluable. Let's talk about the soundtrack. Reply to the two names of the game and chasing famous heroes. That's the benchmark in the industry. You may not be familiar with their names, but the works they polished. You must have seen the Ghost's soundtrack performance really lived up to expectations. Cooperation complements each other. Create a corresponding atmosphere in each unit story. The joy is the joy. The poignant is poignant. The soundtrack is also maintained. The grand is the grand. The whole showdown. Finally, the story setting. A good story is set by a character and a drama. Of course, the hero does not hide the metaphor. Ghost script determines the emotional tone of his grief. And in the previous unit story, stay depressed. The rhythm of bursting tenderness. Keep this rhythm and keep moving forward. But the whole is floating on the line of excellence. In terms of character, it can be called very amazing. Whether the characters in the main film are people or ghosts, basically have their own story background, has a distinct character and combat moves. They also have their own helplessness and sadness. Take the protagonist Tanjiro as an example, facing heartbreak. Take saving your sister as the first medicine to face evil spirits. He can decisively cut it off from the horse. I also hope that when they are dying, I can still feel the last warmth in the world. I'd rather be, what are you doing, nothing? When he said this after the fight, the character is nearly complete. Take the words of the play. That's right, gentle and powerful. From painting to music to character to script destruction. These excellent compositions. The animation team's control of emotional ups and downs has reached the point of perfection, several in a row from, after being suppressed to the rhythm point of a small burst, to the depths of despair. With the crisp background music, desolate piano music notes fall to the ground. You ask me why the destruction is so hot. I may not be able to explain much, but I really want to ask rhetorically that if you want to fight, there will be a fight. Want music, have music. To have a story, to have a story, to have emotion, to have emotion. Why can't he fire